Six in the summer, youngest on the corners be runners, out of towners be straight up goners.
In DC, the gay corpse, dirty Cadillacs, Desert Eagle cannon blast. Watch your back.
Even the hood rats, keep it real where the hood's at. Swinging wooden bats at your so-called cats. You know how we roll, y'all get up in the back. Roll call in the back, stole the Bama, watch basketball
In
flat.
DC,
When you got chickens that make it harder to get them digits, the skins and them cowboy
in
tickets.
DC, the gay corpse, dirty Cadillacs, Desert Eagle cannon blast. Watch your back. In DC.
Yes. DMV Sports 3. Here we are once again. The 3. Wait a minute. Oh, it's 4 because out deep south are behind the lines main man Fat Boy is joining us tonight because we need help, just like the Washington football team needs help. As all of our players are now not playing, we had to also call in the reserve. He looks like he's been working out. We might need that defensive tackle position filled. Fat Boy, what's up, man? What's happening?
What's going on?
What's up, baby? Man, welcome again. Hey, look, we're not gonna hold back. We just gonna jump right in because we're gonna have to jump in and talk about what's going on in Washington. There's a lot of things happening.
Wait, hold on, Trey. Hold on. Before you go any further, Fat Boy, what position you play?
I play nose guard. And
All right, we putting you in. Enough said. We putting you in.
All right.
You made it. We're gonna run you up the line, baby.
You start, baby. You start.
Let's go. Mama made it.
Hey, that's right. Hey, look. Wear what's comfortable. People gonna be out there in slides. We're gonna have pants under jeans. We don't care, man. We just go get out there, support the team, and do what we can. That's all we can do, brother. Welcome to the team, man. It's gonna be amazing.
Welcome to the sickness.
So what you think about that, man? What's happening with the league actually and sports in general, man? It looks like it's happened. We are starting to see a lot of players and athletes being affected by things
it's
going
not
on.
just with the NFL, it's with baseball, basketball. It's not. I don't think it's going to get any better. I really don't. I remember when the pandemic first happened, and they were putting players in these so-called bubbles.
That's right.
And that bubble actually helped.
It seemed to help.
I didn't hear nobody about no players getting COVID. I mean, maybe one or two, but you got damn near a half a team going down because of COVID. So I think they need to take better protocols on how they're doing things as far as, congregating. I think they need to start wearing masks on the sidelines. I think they need to start doing temperature checks again. Maybe doing a COVID test before every game. That way, if a player comes in and they got COVID, they can stop it at the door. Yeah. That way, it's not affecting the other players on the other team or your team.
Yeah, I mean, we have to remember that. I mean, in the outside world, there are 800,000 people who have died from this thing, and it's you can put people in the bubble, you can wrap them up in shrink wrap or whatever you want to do. But it's no different inside, whereas it's just a microcosm of what you see in society, man. Yeah, so people are going to get it. It's a matter of being prepared and catching it early. Right. It seems like once Montez Sweat caught it on that D line, the whole D line started catching it. Then they started swinging out. The closer you got, and the worse it got, man. So we are suffering with 21. Probably by the time game time starts, it's going to be more than that because it just seems like we're getting some every day. And hopefully a couple of these people who've been vaccinated can get off that reserve COVID list so that they can take their test, two tests in a row, and get off of that list and start practicing. What is it, Thursday? So I mean, it's really just you can play in the game at this point. Because practice is out the window. So yeah. I'm just saying it's a problem, but it's a problem that we can fix. But right now we are in the thick of it, and I hope they're quarantining themselves away from their families. That's the main thing. They need to stay away. I know, everybody loves to go home and get that home cooked meal, but to be able to sustain life, man, you gotta just take things seriously until you get away from this pandemic we got going on.
True.
Because it's more of a life or death situation. Football takes second nature. Football is, it's not life or death. So we know that, and we are fans. We love our team and everything, but we might have to take an L on this one to prepare for the Cowboys the second time around. That may be the situation, man.
Now, I don't think that we would take an L because there's actually the Chicago Bears. They're probably in the same predicament that we're in. And from when Ron Rivera was live earlier,
Chicago,
and he said that
we play Philly.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying
Chicago got a lot of people.
I think they would postpone that game.
They changed
because it's not just like it's one team going through it. It's actual several teams that are neck to neck with losing players left and right. So I don't think that they would make it. They would cause you to forfeit if that's what you want to say. I think it would be a reschedule or a postpone.
Well, the way the rules state, and I'm generalizing here, is that if the outbreak that you're having is your fault because of somebody who is unvaccinated, and it becomes a problem for the team as far as the amount of people that are not being able to suit up, you forfeit the game. Now, if it's an outside reason, that's something that's going on, that's not directly your fault, then you have an opportunity to postpone a couple days. Like I know they had some Sunday games that played on Tuesday last year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thing, but if it's like we got going on with Montez Sweat, and I'm just assuming that we're just assuming that this is what's going on. It will be our fault, and we would have to forfeit. But I don't think we're going to get to that. There's enough players on the roster to be able to.
There's enough people in the world that's willing to play.
We already went to positions.
Hey, Fat Boy gonna play in his flip flops. He ready to play in his flip flops, baby.
It's all good. So
we lost our kicker a few weeks ago. I was like, man, shit, I probably didn't kick a ball.
They go out there and miss like everybody else was doing. So
we're getting hurt. I would love to go miss a ball and still get paid.
That's right.
Hey, man, talk about replacement players. What kind of we think we're going to see, or what kind of defense you think we're going to see if we're going to have third and fourth and fans playing the game on Sunday?
I just know that everybody, I wish I was on their practice squad right now, because if whoever's on their practice squad getting ready to get some serious playing time.
Yeah, they're going to play the whole game.
What?
Yeah. They already pulled Reeves up the last game,
right?
So, all of the old players. Now it's funny that you guys were saying that. Maybe if they did, it's too late now. But if they had us no fan games or something like that, if we seen it perform better. But if we could specifically now just talk about the game, regardless, here we go, going into Philly. We know we're limited. What do you guys expect? What is Philly going to do with the limited Washington squad? And can Scott Turner pull it out and coach up something for these, we can't even say players. Well, yeah, I get there was a great time where our Scabs, if y'all remember, I'm taking y'all back in history, our Scabs took us to the Super Bowl, right? So, Hey, don't take that away from them. The replacements, that's what they were called, and they did it ever. But now here we are again. Can Scott do it, Big Al? I know you was at the bowling alley giving them all kind of, condolences and everything. No. I'm talking about from the last game. He's trying to get them all together. What did he say that game is going to happen?
Well, apparently, my man Heineke will play. He has limited mobility because he got a bad knee, and his arm is already weak, and it's even weaker because he got a bad arm. but he's going to play. I believe his backup is on the list, right, Deacon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's that? Schwarmer?
No, it's Allen. Allen's on the list.
Well,
Why
Allen-
he started?
No. I'm talking about the other guy that picked up. They picked
Oh,
up
yeah.
Temu.
What is his name?
Temu.
Yeah.
Temu.
Yeah.
Lion King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I see a deja vu. Okay, not
Talk
as
about
far as this podcast, but what's happening in the NFL with our team. Okay, y'all recall RG3 was the same way. He was hurt, limited mobility, still went out there. Look what happened. Yeah, he got us to the playoffs,
Right.
but we could have won the playoffs. You just sat your ass down.
The classic
And let
Seattle
the next
game.
man take over so you can heal. That way, if we go make it through the playoffs and you're healed, we know we got you.
Come on, fat boy, chill out.
Hey,
Slow down.
but that's a good idea, though, man. We can run the read option. I mean, we ran the read option in high school.
I mean, look what Josh Allen did the first play he came in.
Stop it.
He
Stop
ran
it.
for 12 yards for
Stop
a
it.
first down.
Stop it. Hey, fat boy.
I like
come on, man.
Heineke. Heineke is my quarterback.
It's so bad. He said
That is my
Josh Allen.
quarterback. And I would
You heard him,
like
right?
to be healthy.
Hey, fat boy, it's so bad. You said Josh Allen. We're talking about Kyle.
Oh, no, whatever.
Nah,
You know what I mean?
you gotta be specific. There's a couple of Allens out there, man. You say the wrong name.
Only reason I cut you off, listen, that was garbage time. Let's not get into it. These guys were playing prevent defense at that point. He wasn't about to beat nobody. Now it was a good throw that bomb he threw that should have been caught by Carter.
Oh,
That
yeah,
was
on the outside, on the
that
sideline,
was
yeah.
a perfect pass. You got to catch
He put
that.
it right in the bucket.
He did, but every NFL quarterback can do that one time a game. So let's not get happy feet on that. But let's talk about the quarterback position because the first of all, if you put Heineke in there, you know his best attribute is his leg. He can't scramble, so you're taking his best attribute away. Now you want him to throw. You know he ain't throwing downfield because why? Not only he has a noodle, his arm hurts. So nobody's gonna be being checked deep because he can't get it there anyway. So everything's gonna be underneath. You giving them your game plan. I mean, at this point, it's no point in putting Heineke in there. We know what he's got. We know what he did. Thank you. He's not gonna be the quarterback next year. He may be the backup. That's fine with me. I'm gonna give you the whole thing. You might as well put Temu in there.
He don't know no plays though.
He got a week.
All right, he could do.
I don't
He could do
care.
like what's that guy we had last year? Josh Johnson or
Yeah.
yeah.
Josh Johnson, yeah.
He went played and learned the plays.
I like
He went to the-
It doesn't matter.
How's Scott Turner gonna call a play? They don't even know the formations or nothing,
Come on,
man.
man. Come on, man. Look,
So what makes you? I want you.
Remember
I
the
want to know why you
plays.
say that Mr. Heineke is not going to be our quarterback next year.
huh? What? You didn't hear what I just said?
Do you see where we're at right now because of him?
Oh, yeah, we
Because of the
under
effort.
500. We below 500. Yeah, we had a good 4-game win streak. It was beautiful. But he won those by throwing it underneath and letting the people run after the ball.
And scrambling out of the pocket.
Scrambling
That
too.
man's
You know
like
what?
that man's
You
like a
don't
slug.
have,
He
you
can
don't
just
have to
slip through
scramble
front
if you got a good offensive line. How about we build the offensive line with a natural quarterback, a real quarterback? I don't mind him having legs. I just want him to be able to throw downfield.
So let me ask you a question.
Listen, he told me
hold on,
like this. He did like this when he was scrambling. Go, Terry, go. He was doing as well as he could.
It was 10 yards short.
He did.
That was kind of funny. Go.
Let me ask you a question. Say Heineke sits out this next game. He comes back against the Cowboys. He wins us out. Were you still going to say you don't want him as a quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, because listen, I said it before and I'll say it again. Maybe you didn't hear it, but I'm gonna tell it really loud to you since you're online. He works hard, he plays hard, lots of effort. He wants to that he has good legs. He can't throw that far, but he tries. He is the hardest working cat in that locker room. But he has to do all that just to be average. What happens when he like he's about to lose his legs? He ain't got no legs now. He's Lieutenant Dan.
But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
He got no legs. So what's he gonna do?
Oh my God, this man called Lieutenant Dan.
Call him
And I can
Lieutenant
just
Dan.
see him. He look like Lieutenant Dan.
He said he got no legs, so he can't run around, so he's no threat to anybody. He took his best attribute away. So
That's
I mean, you can't roll with that, man. We have to prepare for the future, not just be happy with mediocrity because he's trying hard and he looks like he really wants it. Let's go for more.
He makes bad decisions too, Fat Boy, man. That's the only thing. He makes them in no crucial game time.
I like him as I like
He's a playmaker, man. He gonna win some, he gonna lose some.
Lose some, yeah.
Every quarterback is.
He's a,
He's
you
not
know
Tom
what?
Brady, he's not Patrick Mahomes.
But
He's
you know what he is? You know what he is? He's what we wanted Colt McCoy to be. That's who Heineke is. If Colt McCoy was Heineke, we would have Colt McCoy on our squad.
He
right?
is.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like Colt McCoy is not.
He is Colt McCoy.
No, Colt McCoy.
He's the fresh.
He's better than Colt McCoy. He's better
Yes,
than
he's better than Colt.
I'm under the
Colt get in there and,
Really don't like
really
that.
throw up on himself, and he was
Like,
back
you're a
up for like
Heineke hater. I can see
30
it.
years.
No. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a Heineke hater. I like Heineke, and I said that he's our quarterback for the year. He's our number one quarterback. I'm behind him 100%. All I'm saying
Hey,
is,
listen.
for the future, we cannot rest on a 6-foot guy who can't throw it 30 yards down the field without throwing it underneath. Come
He
on,
ain't got no arm. He ain't got no arm, man.
We have Terry who
He told him, go. Terry's like, all right.
all about top receivers running 4-3. He can't throw it hard enough for him to throw it. I mean, he can't get it downfield.
So let's talk weapons. Let's talk weapons. And we've already established that I think as a whole, Heineke is what we have right now. What we were talking about that at the beginning of the year, majority everybody was looking for our quarterback. We got Fitzpatrick, and he is where he is right now. So that's just what it is. Ron put his money on red when it should have been black. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it was. Anyway, but let's talk about weapons. Is it that Heineke, to give him any kind of excuse, he was supposed to have Samuels. He was supposed to have Logan. He was supposed to have JD. He was supposed to have all of these guys who at some point, way, shape, or form find their way on the sidelines. You know, does that matter? What you feel about that, Fat Boy? I thought he had to. I thought he had froze. You know, we got
No, I
Freeze
didn't
Allen.
freeze. I actually got a text message, so my mind.
I get it. We
I'm
get it.
trying to get a sub for bowling tonight and take care of this.
Oh, that's right. Forgot you the bowling champion.
Yeah, I'm a bowling fanatic, man. But
That's
y'all,
right.
can you repeat that question one more time?
Question is, if Heineke had the weapons that we were supposed to have this year, i.e. Logan Thomas, J.D. McKissick, a healthy McKissick, a non-fumbling A.G. Gibson, a Samuels on the other side, a De'Ami Brown that showed hope. All of these guys.
I don't think that we would have been in the. I don't think that we would have been in the position that we're in. Actually, you know, I think we would have been. We would have probably been in the same position, but we would have beat the Cowboys.
Oh, that's sad.
Because no matter the players that you have, it still leads down to the people on the sideline. Because they're the ones that
You saying our coaching staff is a 6-6 coaching staff?
I believe it is.
A 500 coaching staff.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is the man that went to the Super Bowl. He took Cam Newton to the Super Bowl.
I don't when. How long ago?
That was about 8 years ago.
Okay. There's my point exactly. My point exactly. You know what I'm saying?
So you
So
saying
my thing is-
Riverboat Ron is a 500 coach?
It's 8-8. It's 8-8.
There's no 500.
Everybody's on to the
Yeah,
riverboat.
ain't no
game.
500 no more.
Listen, you are not totally wrong. I mean, I'll say it again. That I always thought that Ron would come in here. He's here to right the ship, and then we're gonna have to have somebody else come in to get us to the next level.
Of course.
But I think the question's more on Heineke. Whether if Heineke had Curtis Samuels from the beginning, Terry McLaurin, Diami was doing something good as a core unit, would he be a 500 quarterback? Because here's my thing. We're asking our receivers to make our quarterback look good as opposed to our quarterback making our receivers look good at that point.
Right.
And that's not what we have. We need everything around Taylor Heineke to go right for him to look good. I mean, scrambling looks good, but do you really want him to have to scramble all the time? That's not what the quarterback is supposed to do. That's an attribute. That's not what the consistency should be. So if he comes in, I think we probably would have had a better record because you would have had more weapons with Antonio Gibson not fumbling. I think we would have had a better record, but I think it would be because of our unit and not actually the quarterback thriving, as a quarterback. I think it would have just been he had more weapons, he had more opportunities, which is fine. If we weren't in Washington where we get hurt every year. So we have to remember that in Washington, we are notorious for the injury list or the IR, as they say. So that's going to happen every year. Terry might get hurt next year.
Isn't that what Williams' argument was before he rolled out?
Dougie?
No, Williams, not Doug Williams, but
Trent.
Trent
Williams.
Yeah,
that was his argument.
But we got rid of that whole staff. We got rid of that whole.
That was a whole different staff.
But the traditions remained. I mean, it's like, what's going on?
The only one left is Dan Snyder. The only one left is Dan Snyder from that staff.
From that, yeah.
That's the problem.
Dan did it.
There it is.
Dan did it.
You
Big Dan. Big Dan.
Big Dan. Big Dan. Big Dan.
Okay? You spit it out your own mouth. You got a new staff, and the only person still there, and the same stuff is still happening is Dan Snyder.
Really, Dan's not there. His wife is there. His wife is there.
She's
done a phenomenal job.
Get married, you become one, right?
Good call.
Depends on how much money you got.
Good call.
Hey,
she's got more wins recently, man. Her stats a little bit better. I like that. I like that. Hey, but listen, so let's talk defense, folks. Let's go to defense. Now it seems to me that the defense has kind of stepped up. Based on with the same, situation of having to find their players. I mean, our big, bad, awesome, going to take us to the promised land, 30 sacks this year, bookends, not playing, with Chase and Sweat. But at the end of the day, we still held the Cowboys to a point where, as after being literally just whooped all up and down the field to 7 points. If it wasn't for the Carter catch, really, it comes down to the Carter catch. It was respectable, and that was based on the defensive effort. So, how do you feel about our defense rolling into Philly? You know that we always have problem with running quarterbacks, and here come one, and he got something to prove.
I have nothing to say because last week defense did pretty good. And the last few weeks, our defense has been on point. It's the offense not executing where they need to. You got to also take into consideration last week, we played what they call the number one defense in the league. You have to give credit. Their defense Cowboys defense was freaking excellent. And I hate to say it, our offense wasn't prepared enough
for Micah Parsons, who was single-handedly whipped our behinds like Jordan out there.
Listen, he made their defense, and our defense, I really, like I said, I have no even with our missing players, Chase and Sweat, the defense is doing what they need to do, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay the way that our defense is playing. It's the offense that's not executing. Defense, yes, they say defense wins games, but not in every situation.
Well, the defense is not good enough to win games. It's good enough to keep you in the game. That's what our defense is. It's not.
I'm fine with that. I'd rather have a team that.
Well, I'm not fine with it. I mean, we were sold a bill of goods. We got 6 number 1 picks out there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you believe in number 1 picks, we got 6 number 1 picks. Our defense is supposed to be like the Cowboys' defense, making plays and scoring touchdowns.
But they're hurt. You got players that are hurt. You got players that are sick.
Hey, that's no excuse, man. That's no excuse.
Last week, the Cowboys beat on a high school football team, okay? And the only reason, to be honest with you, the only reason why we came back the way we did is because that high school football team kept their foot on the pedal and the Cowboys let up.
Yeah, Dak got real confident out there.
They all got real comfortable with their little bleacher seats on the sideline and stuff.
Which should never, ever happen. You should never. I mean, listen, I'm going to talk to Dan. That ass ain't never happening. That don't bring your benches.
The only time any other team's logo, paraphernalia, anything represented, if it was a championship game, that is allowed. But that is not something, and I said that too. And that goes back to not necessarily what Fat Boy was saying about Dan and all of that, but just the organization in itself. Our traditions, man, are getting erased. Dallas is an important game. This is the fan base that would take 2 wins. And if they were Dallas, we would sit there. We'll talk about the team, but we would just be, we beat Dallas twice.
Okay, look, there was more Washington football fans in Las Vegas the week before that was at the game against Dallas, okay? Mm-hmm. They were actually, the whole stadium, I had a friend of mine that went to the game. 80% of the stadium was Cowboy fans.
Yeah, and you know why? Because I hate to say it, there's more Cowboy fans that live in DC than there is Washington fans. And
that's a historical thing. Just for those young folk who know whatever it is, it goes back to the fact that DC was always a chocolate city. And one of the things that I heard from being in the barbershop, being here, was that the last team to accept an African American player was Washington. And that was your boy
Bobby Mitchell.
Bobby Mitchell.
Yeah, Bobby Mitchell.
And a lot of the people in the hometown, which was majority African American, was very upset about that, and in protest chose to be Cowboy fans. Just a little tidbit right here on DMV Sports 3. You are here this far, you got to make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can get more of that history from the OGs. But hey, I understand that you had a busy man here, Fat Boy, and you got to keep it moving. Yes, and so I want to thank you for coming on with your insight. So like we do every time, this is the official moment. Win or loss this Sunday.
It's a win. I see it being 17-16.
With the third string guys.
And the score. He's going for the hunger. I talk about the hunger on here all the time. He's going for the hunger.
Because I think that L against the Cowboys, even despite what we're going through with the pandemic and the COVID players, that team is on a revenge. Is tasting blood.
Okay. Blood in the water.
You just allowed these people to come all the way from Dallas in your house, have you 24-0 by halftime, 24-0, and bring their own bleachers in your house. Hold on, it gets deep.
Refs. They brought the refs.
You had the refs, and you had a coach a week before the game says, "Oh, it's an automatic win."
It's an automatic win. That's right. Yeah, slap
you
every time.
You had nothing to prove after that.
Yeah. Hey, and a linebacker that said you picked the wrong linebacker. that's what he basically was like. He was like, "You should." Hey, I told you.
Fat Boy, where you at, man? Tell everybody how they can get in contact with you. And your
I'm in Hogs Talk Nation on Facebook, man. One of the biggest
Hogs Talk.
One of the biggest Redskins groups. We stream every game. We do stuff for the homeless. We give back to the community. It's very good. It's all Redskins. We don't play that. My moderators, a shout out to them. Papa Duke. Well, Papa Duke is my CEO. He's just behind the scenes. I'm the face. I'm the man. I'm the face of the operation. But Papa Duke, I got to give him a lot of credit because he's behind the scenes doing a lot of work.
Y'all
moderators, they keep my chat respectful. They're on it. You can't, if you ain't got nothing Redskins on your page or you don't answer that question, you not getting it. I'm sorry.
There you go. That's it.
You
Amen.
Raffle too, right? You raffle.
Yeah, we do raffles every week. Every week somebody wins a jersey. Like last week we raffled off a Fat Boy jersey that's autographed by me.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Speaking of that,
Hey, our starting nose guard for Sunday.
Listen, speaking of that, I started laughing earlier because somebody came in my chat and was like, yeah, put Fat Boy in. He's already got his Fat Boy jersey.
Good boy, we gonna catch you later, man. Thanks for coming.
All right,
thank you, man.
I will see y'all Sunday after the game.
Live.
We
OGs right here. Anybody can come.
And I'll be here next week.
I got you.
So that way I can talk about the 17-16 win.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you, man.
All right.
Well, we can keep it moving. What y'all got for this Sunday?
Yeah, well, let's talk. Let me say something about that. If we don't take our benches to Dallas in 2 weeks,
He's still on the bench. He can't let it go. I like that. I haven't seen Deacon like this in a while, Al.
there's no way.
He's usually Mr. Cavalier, like, oh, yes, whatever.
Come on,
you know how it is. No big
I
deal.
know that's some BS, man.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
I
was.
really have so much Washington football paraphernalia on that sideline. It would be ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yep.
And our defense has been keeping us in it. And it's funny because it looked like it was worse than it really was because I'm not sure, I can't remember what the number was, but your boy, he's still out. Your boy Dak Prescott, I watched some football game. The tight end caught the ball. He's been out for like 5 minutes. But Dak Prescott, I think his QBR was like 20 something. I mean, he wasn't really lighting us up.
They were talking about that. They were saying that Dak hasn't been playing well at all.
Yeah. He wasn't lighting us up at all.
Even Jared Jones made a comment on it.
Yeah. So anyway, I hate. I'm going to say a win just because I'm a fan, but it's going to be a hard road to plow. We're going to have to spy the quarterback, and we're going to have to blitz all day long. We're going to have to make him read defense, man. We're just going to. That's all we can do. We're going to have to blitz and keep him in the pocket and sack him. We're going to have to put some wood on it. But other than that, I don't see us winning any other way. We've got to go all out. I mean, I'm talking zero blitz. Let's go.
He's talking my language, but blitzing in Washington is a myth. I've come to that conclusion. But go ahead.
That's just my opinion.
Go ahead, Big Al, because this is what I've been waiting on. Mr. Defense right here.
Yeah, I believe that it's a running team. Philly's a running team. They play good D and they run the ball. Hurts cannot throw the ball. He's not an accurate passer. They do have some pretty decent receivers. This Hurts can't throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? He is not a quarterback. Now, they could put what's the dude from Jacksonville in to throw the ball?
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew is a little bit better thrower than Hurts is. So they might play both quarterbacks. Who knows? But if they've got Hurts out there, we're going to have to play the heavy run, and then offensively, wow, we got a makeshift the offensive line. And we had a quarterback with a bad leg. So we can't turn the ball over. Just don't turn the ball over. And hopefully they turn the ball over and we play the field position game. And somebody may break a tackle and get some points for us. So I got us with an L. 20 to 10.
And I too have an L. And I just don't feel like Ron says things in the press conference that
Ron be lying.
Don't
believe what Ron is saying.
Listen, I know. And I'm not going to argue with you on that. And maybe it's, we got out Jedi last week. We got Jedi like a mug, but ideally, I just think that I haven't seen it yet, and then, I'm always hard on the coaches. I said I wasn't going to let up this year. When it's like, look, now we need a moral victory. We already know where we are. We already know who we are. We know what we got. I'm like Deacon on the zero blitz in essence to say, not that's going to be a zero blitz, but just all out. Let's just ball all out. Let's just do what we got to do to win the game. Let's get our kicker ready to kick, because I think it's going to be a very close game based on what Al was saying, which is, he can't throw the ball. And that's one thing we do know Davis can do is run the side to side. So maybe Davis needs to be a spy, go old school, spy the quarterback, play him. Let's get some pads on him. Let's see what that, and then get Minshew in. And I think I'm even more confident when we get Minshew in there, because they're not even confident with him. He's their Kyle Allen. Therefore, let's go ahead and put it together. But then that just takes this urgency that when I listen to Dan, who is the man of the franchise, whatever like that, he just talks very casual all the time, just like, well, no, we got to do this, and it's just the same old thing. I don't see any spark except from our beginning of our last show when Deacon showed the locker room, from after wins. It's a spark after win, but we need some spark before the wins, and we darn sure need some spark in the locker room. And I think that's what Del Rio has done the last 2 games. He goes into that locker room. Instead of us coming out third quarter, throwing up on ourselves as we had in the past, it seems our defense comes out there with a little bit more aggression, that to a point where I'm happy about. I'm with Al. That last thing I'll say, I'm with Al. I'm not happy about our number ones, and we still got 2 of them in the interior that don't seem to get that push. I hate when I heard that Settles was out, because when I see him in there, I see a push, and so I don't know what's going on with those guys. Now, not to say that who's the man? He's the man. He's as far as his position. Allen. So he's doing his job, but it just comes to show you that position is not as impactful as a defensive end, with a sack. Yeah, he's pushing his man into the quarterback, disrupting a couple plays, making some things happen or in the backfield to slow down the offense. But it's very, grudge match type stuff. You really can't see it until you go to the stats. And you're like, oh, yeah, he did play well. But I just need to see some more quarterbacks running for their life, not just ducking out the way. So I got an L.
L.
That's it.
That's so half and half. W, L's, what's up? We half and half, baby. Like to carry out. Half and half.
We're going to see what happens at 4 o'clock. It'll all be told at 4 o'clock.
That's right. 4 o'clock games, man. We've been.
No, it's 1 o'clock game.
Is it?
It'd be over by 4 o'clock.
Oh, yeah. Dang it. I was hoping for a change. Change of pace seems like we do well with change of pace, man.
Yeah, nah.
He said, yeah, nah.
All right, fellas, let's cut this one.
Yes, sir. Let's get out of here, man.
Merry Christmas.
That's next week, Al.
Yeah, a little early. We just like wearing the hat. That's all it is.
Man, time Diggy get this particular one out, it's gonna be Christmas, man.
What's in the cup? What's in the cup?
All right.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned, and I've come today to make confession.
There's a war going on outside, you can't stop it. Illegal transactions, currency to make the profits. Cause these streets are the beast within. No matter color of skin, your soul is desolate to sin. So pass the buck, son. More cash, more cash. Gotta get the dough, the pockets running low, fast show. Thoughts of hatred and anger running through. I'm about to go crazy in this concrete suit.
Son, I live on the bubble between hustling crack and hustling raps and busting them gats and rustling stacks. A greenback, I'm a mean cat who seen that life was a bitch and then you died. That's why I rely upon my instinct to save my own ass. Literally, I find myself a victim on my own past activities. Can't shape up instantly, so I write soliloquies, asking the Lord forgive me for the dirt I hit in me. What?
Through a panoramic view of birth, my paradox seems uncertain. I can feel the malignant drops of consciousness working, hurting that sense that I supposedly lost when I crossed into this world. Now my father wanted to call me Quentin, but my mother named me Gerald. See, my mother, she was a sweet old girl who taught me a lot about this world, but ironically it wasn't she that told me my shadow was a reflection of casual simplicity. My daddy broke that down for me. Now he also said that when things come to a head, to remember, son, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. For every attraction there's a detraction, and for every addition there must be some subtraction, because nothing just keeps going up. Now I was a little duckling when he told me this, so I couldn't fully get the premise of what he was talking about. Yet in a roundabout sort of way I got something from what he had to say, which takes me to the 7th day of the 9th year before the coming of the 2nd millennium, when I met this brother named Gilliam. Even though that sense I supposedly lost wasn't feeling him, I was still dealing with him, despite his crossed up mentality. Hospitality fit nowhere in this brother's aura. He introduced me to James and Roger, so now there were 4 of us. Roger called his brother Russ, Russ called his friend named Lenny, Lenny called his friend named Henry, until the crew of 4 grew to a score of men. No more was the core of my actions pure, they were blatant actions of sin. A faction of 10 broke down to fractions of weight. Who would do what, when we all would partake in this maniacal scheme. And I had the best darn team in town. And I was the brains, the man that held the reins, that kept everything on the lowdown and dirty. Within a week my crew was pulling in 30 G's a day. We was doing okay to be the new kids on the scene, but it was still too much green out there that could be ours. So I informed my entourage of who, how, and when. And within 10 weeks, 40 bodies had been covered in sheets to be laid to rest in peace, leaving me to be Big Willie behind the conglomerate that no one knew about just yet. Blood, sweat, and tears is what others shed. My crew, we just led the pack. We had become like the Black Mafia, and I was John Gotti, cause nobody would oppose me and my posse. My crew that grew from 4 to a score was now 4 score strong within a 3-month-long span. According to the Wu-Tang Clan, we had the whole world in our hands because cash ruled everything around me, and we had plenty. We had built an empire in less than 1 year, we had it all. I was at my sister's house when I got the phone call. 5 of my boys had been locked up, somebody shot Roger and Paul. The empire I built was about to fall to shambles. This had to be handled expeditiously, so viciously we went on another killing spree. We took out the informant, his whole cohort went through an assortment of attacks. So now we were back to being comfortable. My partners were smoking jacks, being insensible, and I was just relaxed to the maximum for a couple of months.